You are now tuned in to Hits 92.3, where we take great pride in personal expression of one's feelings, thoughts, or ideals. What you're getting ready to hear on this show are the opinions of the hosts and their guests, and they do not reflect the opinions of Hits 92.3 radio station, the brand, management, staff, their respective advertisers, parent companies, or affiliates. Now stay tuned as this show begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mic check, 1, 2. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy DJ Play Something. I'm coming to you live right here from Glass House Radio. We here at the last Valley Club party ever. This the one for if you ugly, this ain't for you. If you ugly, go sit down. Yeah, we got the new one right here from Willie Hit. It's Zoe Williams. Just call it available. Let's get it.
Be available. I wanna be available to you. I wanna be available, and I only wanna be there for you, for you. I wanna be available.
Oh, you do? From the last thing I heard, what you want with a boo? I hit your line last time, you was talking to dude, and you was like, fuck niggas, every one of you two. I'm like, damn, he broke your heart, ain't it? And never took you anywhere but too far, ain't it? Got you hitting pearl, mister, you gon' see the stars, ain't it? Wrote this song for you, West Star Spangle, that's the angle. X Rose, when I get there writing songs, you the right one. Ain't no other me, girl, it's only like one. I'm tryna leave that pussy killed, ride it pipe something, not just one night, but this could be night one. Tomorrow night, 2, and after that night 3. And if it's on site, girl, I wanna sightsee. I ain't even know you knew about the Valley Club, but I'm glad you came, nigga. Fucked around and found love, goddamn.
Available. I wanna be available to you. I wanna be available, and I only wanna be there for you, for you. I wanna be available. I wanna be available to you. I wanna be available, and I only wanna be there for you, for you. It feels so right, it can't be wrong. What's in this weed, baby? 'Cause it's so strong. I'm down for you, and whatever you want to do, it's all up to you. 'Cause I'm available.
This motherfucker fine for sure. Could make you fall in love in 5 minutes, maybe even 4. Dive right onto the dance floor. She gym every day and she's so sexy in them damn clothes. But can you dance slow? Got all these other shorties wishing that they was ass dope. Pass those drinks off the rocks and keep that damn coke. Dance no manners, I handle it like a damn pro. Sad cause you just told your man no. Baby mean on the scene in a black dress. That good tequila gon' relieve you from all that stress. Tell that dweeb leave you with me, I think that's best. Hey, let's get ratchet, this your last test. Now say it with me, I say twerk, twerk, twerk. She don't move like no beginner. Booty popping like she tryna win a husband or a dinner. Twerk, twerk, twerk. Girl, I know you got it in ya. I'm available, I made my way to you. So how you feeling?
Available. I wanna be available to you. I wanna be available, and I only wanna be there for you, for you. I wanna be available. I wanna be available to you. I wanna be available, and I only wanna be there for you, for you.
Yeah. Try shit, nigga. Valley Club shit, baby. Yeah. 2 eye, bit. 2 eye, bit. Yeah. 2 eye, bit. 2 eye, bit. Yeah.
Body image and positivity are major impacts in today's society. At Nurse to Beauty, we believe in bringing the beauty from within to the forefront. For those of you who are planning to have cosmetic surgery, Nurse to Beauty is ready and available for all of your postoperative needs. My name is Dontricia Dunham, and I am the registered nurse and owner. I have over 10 years of experience with emergency medicine that has aided me in giving quality medical care for cosmetic surgery clients. We specialize in a number of safe and effective options and solutions to help you achieve your ideal body image. Have a one-on-one virtual consultation via phone or private suite location. Have your lymphatic therapies and all other postoperative needs performed by a licensed medical professional. Mobile postoperative services are also available upon request. Not interested in cosmetic surgery at this time? No worries. We also provide an array of body modification services to fulfill all of your beauty enhancement requests. We understand how costly aftercare can be after a cosmetic surgery. Ask about our affordable payment plans today with instant approval and no hard credit check. Log on to www.nursetobeauty.com for more information. Call or text 404-849-0260. For education, client transformations, and reviews, follow all of our social medias at Nurse to Beauty. See you next time.
Hey, this is Karen the Connector here on Hits 92 Point Live, the real definition of internet radio. And I am so excited to be back here at the station here with Sunshine and all the other shows. I've been anticipating this for a couple of weeks now, and just a lot of planning went into play just to make sure I came back correctly. And I took some time off. I think the last show I did was like November. So I took some time off, and I'm going to talk a little bit about that today, just about, just life in general. And I kind of made the title Life After because there's a lot of things that happen and a lot of things that happen after those things happen. So we're going to get into it today. We are going to talk about life after heartbreak, life after depression, life after divorce, life after loss, and life after starting over. So we're going to get into those subjects today, and I welcome anybody listening today to join in, call in, let me know how your life after was. 404-438. That's not it. What is it, Sunshine? 404-254-4347. 404-254-4347. Call in and just be a part of the show today. I would love to hear your feedback on this topic, which is very, very real to me. So we're gonna get into it. And so basically, just an overview of my life in the last, I want to say 6 to 8 months. Just a quick overview, but we're gonna get into it on a deeper level. But I experienced a lot of things last year, and one thing that I've said repeatedly in the last couple of weeks is that I let a lot of things slow me down and put a pause on a lot that I had going on, and everything on the table. A lot of different things happened to even other people that made me have to pause and slow down. And I kind of internalized other people's, situations that were near and dear to my heart. So it was almost like everything that they were going through was happening to me too, in some way, shape, or form, which kind of made me pause on a lot of things that I had going on. One thing being the show. I was here every Thursday, then I was here every other Thursday, and then I had to take a pause and take a break, come back. And it was just a lot. And one thing I will say is, I know that if my faith would have been just a little bit stronger and my relationship with God would have been where it needed to be, I don't think that I would have reacted to the things that happened the way I did. Not saying that I acted reckless or anything like that. I think I would have been able to bounce back a little bit better and more effective. So I suggest to anybody going through anything like that, make sure you put your trust in God. Make sure you put your faith in action when you're going through things, so it doesn't trip you up. You know what I mean? They always say, let Jesus take the wheel. That's a real thing. Sometimes you got to okay, I'm going through this, but you know what? I'm about to give it to him. And then so I can move on to the next thing that I have going on. So one thing that I do wish I would have did better is handle those things in a more positive way, and hand it off to God and let him work it out so I could keep working on what I'm working on, what he has called me to do. So that's my intro. That's my intro to life after. And like I said, if you want to join in on the conversation, it's 404-254-4347. 404-254-4347. I welcome you all to call in and be a part of the show today. I would love to hear from you. So some of you may know me, some of you may not, but my name is Karen Campbell. I'm widely known as Karen the Connector. I'm from the west side of Georgia, the Douglas County area. I also have a women's group called Women of Douglasville. We have over 55,000 women in the group, all from the west side of Georgia, Douglasville, Lithia Springs, Powder Springs, Dallas, Georgia, even South Fulton. It's a little ladybug crawling around here. I'm going to let her be. She getting a little closer to me, but all over West Georgia. So even Atlanta, we have a lot of people who live all over. Some people lived in Douglasville and Douglas County at one time, and now they're back. They're moved away, but they're still a part of the group. So shout out to Women of Douglasville. The group is near and dear to my heart. It's my baby. I started in 2014. I created the group just to really connect with other women in the community. I was a mother I still am a mother of 3. And so my kids were in school, and I kind of wanted to get connected with other mothers and kind of see what was going on in the community. I've always been very community-based. Even when I was a single mother, a young mother, I've always looked to the community for resources and things to do with my child, and free things to do with my children and that sort of thing. So I really had just started that group just to connect with other women in the community. So that's that on that. And I do a lot of events in West Georgia. We do a lot of networking events, a lot of community events. I love to support the businesses in the group. I have a business affiliate program, and it's a gateway for the local business owners to promote, connect with their customer base, and communicate and all that with the women in Douglasville, the Women of Douglasville group. So shout out to my WOD business affiliates. I'll be seeing them next week. I'll put that plug in. Next Tuesday, I'll be having a Women of Douglasville, Men of Douglasville business affiliate networking and training program where I'll be talking about how you can better utilize your affiliate membership. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be networking and connecting with each other, all the things. And we're going to be talking about just how to better utilize your business affiliate membership. And even if you're not a business affiliate, I welcome you to come and learn how you can be a business affiliate and how you can better utilize Facebook and Instagram and social media when it comes to your business, especially if it's just you. Sometimes you're just trying to figure it out, and just a couple tips here and there may help you. So I'm excited about next Tuesday, and that'll be at 6:30 at the One Family Resource Center. Again, that is next Tuesday, the 27th at 6:30 at the One Family Resource Center. I'll be there with all the affiliates. We'll have light refreshments and all the things. So I'm excited about that. So just I want y'all to know that this show is going to be a safe place where we could talk about these subjects. It can be touchy at times, I guess, experiencing life after what I said: heartbreak, depression, divorce, loss, and just starting over, just planning on starting over. One thing that I will say for me is everything that, and I've said this before, I believe on the show too, everything that I thought would happen after I experienced those things didn't happen yet. Okay. And everything that did happen, I didn't expect to happen. So it was a lot of what? Well, it was a lot of that, and I wasn't expecting that going on. And and I'm pretty sure you can all relate to that as well. When you experience, certain things, once it's over, or once you feel like it's over, you feel like, oh, okay, now this is going to happen. Now I'm going to do this. And no, not yet. You're not ready for that. So that's one thing that I can say, happened, an overview of my life after. So the first thing I'll talk about, and then I'm going to take a break, just the the first speaking point I have written down here is people celebrate the comeback, but not the process. So this is my comeback. You know what I mean? This is my comeback. I'm so much clearer right now. Like, you know what I mean? So this is like a part of my comeback, really coming back to the show, getting on the microphone, connecting with you all. This is a part of my comeback. But the process to get back into this seat, it was real. It was like I felt like I had nothing to say to anybody. It was even at some point I was going through so much that I had lost my voice. Like I would get on the phone and you could barely hear me. I sounded like Freddy Krueger, like for weeks on end. You remember that, Sunshine? I mean, I didn't even have a voice, literally a regular voice. So, because I was just going through so much. So, there was a time when I felt like I didn't even have anything to say. Like, you know what? And, you know, people like, Karen, when you going back to Hits 92? I was like, I ain't got nothing to say. I have nothing. I am drawing a blank right now. I don't even know what I would talk about on the microphone. So that I had to process that, like saying, no, Karen, you do have something to say. You know what I mean? Like, you're ready. You know what I'm saying? And even then I still had to, you know, process that and get myself ready to come back. And I figured, you know what, I would talk about, you know, just the things that I've been going through and the processes that I've went through, just getting back to who I am, you know, my focus and my visions and my goals and all the things, my children and my house and my health, all the things. So, yeah, we're going to talk about it today. And like I said, you could join in on the conversation, 404-254-4347, 404-254-4347. And we'll be back here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio.
My name is Joey H. This is the headband, and this is our submission for Tiny Desk. This song is called Tour Bus, and I wrote this about taking this all over the world and where music can take us. Tricked out my tour bus, tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus, tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus, tricked out my tour bus. Tricked out, tricked out, tricked out. I tricked out, I tricked out, I tricked out. I tricked out, I tricked out, I tricked out. Yeah. Darren Ron Shoddy. I dare someone to stop me. Dare someone to jump and I throw it home. Spinning full of winners, hit the map on my mobile phone. Paradise the extra, we can stop cause we very close. Shaking hands with a fan on the west coast. They ask, am I nervous and for rap what I want most? Anxiously, I smile and laugh. Try to think about an answer. It's basically like, I want it all. I need the rain to flee. Been under dark clouds so much it's been a pain to see. Patient, but I'm 28. I'm pacing around the question. Bro, I need some payments, G, back to it. I'm like, man, I just wanna live. Show the world to my girl and our future kids. So I'm on road, got a show to kill, moves to make. He bought a tea and said, good luck, I know you're making life. Tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus. I tricked out my tour bus. Tricked out my tour bus. Tricked out, tricked out, tricked out. I tricked out, I tricked out, I tricked out. I tricked out. Woo! True story, started this record back in 17. Rapping about everything I never seen. Tried to write it down so I could make it happen. Now me and Mike on flights to Denver for the tour of madness. Now that is magic, should've stayed with all is possible. So watch your every move, it's only right, I gotta prove. Believe it's right, I mean these people with OTs. From my 40 days of sleep of faith. Started with these writings just to formulate a better life for me and mine. It's been a climb, but we still going. Thankful for every moment, glad we make it every morning. Now we rewarded for the free shows we prayed on. These C notes, one dive in my wallet like free throws. I prayed for this. Now this time here, feel like the greatest gift. Years later, we still singing the same. Taking risks, catalogs and passion. And remember when we happened to trick out my tour bus. Tricked out my tour bus. Tricked out my tour bus. Tricked out my tour bus. Yeah. Trick down my tour bus. 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 Let's rock. Trick down my tour bus. Trick down. I trick down my tour bus. I trick down my tour bus. I trick down. I trick down my tour bus. Trick down. Trick down. Trick down. I tricked out. I tricked out. I tricked down. I tricked out. I tricked out. I tricked down. Woo! Trick down my tour bus. I trick down my tour bus. Trick down my tour bus. I trick down my tour bus. I trick down my tour bus. Thank you.
Okay. All right, we are back here live on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. This is Karen the Connector, and I'm here every Thursday from 2 to 4 talking about what you've been looking for. So today we are talking about life after. And excuse me. So my life after kind of started, my life after events started earlier 2025. And and like one of the first events that happened was just being separated from my husband, and that was a lot. And so right after that, my dog, like a lot of things happened. Well, with a lot of things, and I don't want to get too personal, but yeah. And then our family dog died, which I didn't think, you see people and they lose their pets and you're like, wow, they're really broken up over that. And until something like that happens to you, you don't know. And losing our dog, Georgia, we had got her right after the school shut down. And so so like during the pandemic, like, we got her as a puppy. And so she was our family dog, and she was a good dog. And so when she died, we weren't even prepared. Like, she got sick one day, 2 days later, Georgia was gone. And it hurt us all so bad. And especially my kids, because that was their dog. I didn't walk the dog. They walked the dog, they fed the dog, and made sure the dog had water. And I kind of just, okay, the dog needs food, I'll order some food, and that sort of thing. And I kind of watched them enjoy their dog. And but when she died, it was like, Georgia, and it hurt really bad. And so until you have a dog like that, a family pet like that, and you lose that pet, you would not know how that feels. So life after Georgia, and we're still experiencing to this day, it's getting easier day by day, suffering that type of loss of a pet, but you never realize how much a pet is a part of your household. And hearing the dog walk around, and just watching the kids play with the dog and enjoy the dog and all the things that come along with that. And so life after that was rough. I mean, it hit my kids really bad. Like, to this day, they still like shed tears over the loss of Georgia. And so when they cry, I cry too, and it makes me sad that they're that sad. And so we're all experiencing that together. So life after a loss of a family pet, like, this is what we're talking about today. And so that was kind of rough. And really, just to get through that, I just allow my daughter, especially my daughter Alana, I let her grieve like when she wants to grieve. And you know what I mean? If she want to cry, if she want to come sleep in the bed and with me and cry all night long, that's what we're doing. So yeah, so suffering that loss, it was difficult. It was like losing a family member. So I'm pretty sure some of you all can relate to that. And I will say that life after things can get really like lonely. when you're experiencing something like a separation, a divorce, especially in my case, it's almost like I was experiencing all these things, but at the same time, I still had to show up. And there was no, you know, like FMLA, or there was no, you know, putting in time at work saying I need a month off to get through this situation. I had to keep showing up, and I had to keep showing up for my kids. I had to keep showing up for um, my family as a whole, and then I had to keep showing up for the community as well, because this is what I do. You know what I'm saying? So there is nobody else to support me or my family. So I had to keep smiling, and I had to keep showing up to events and connected with the community, and hosting events and supporting the affiliates and all the things, just like I couldn't miss a beat. So sometimes when people see you smiling and they see you out and about and just going on with life, they feel like, oh, she all right. Ain't no need to check on her and the kids because they're okay. Um, she's handling it well. Yeah, in front of crowds of people, I'm handling it well because I have to. Sometimes you have to fake it until you make it, and that's exactly what I had to do in my life after. But I tell you one thing, it is lonely. Like, you would think that, being surrounded by all these women all the time, and managing a group of 55,000 women, that you would not be lonely. And then I have my inner circle of friends who they kind of were there for me, and asking about the kids and my siblings and all that. But there were times when I found myself sitting at April's place all by myself, just trying to figure what the heck is going on out. So so yeah, so I will say, sometimes you really need to be transparent with the people who you care about, and let them know, what you're going through, because you don't, especially if you have a nice, solid inner circle of friends and you have family. Sometimes even with them, I kind of felt like I needed to be the strong one, or I'm fine. You know what I mean? I saw that, I knew this was coming, or I knew this was going to happen. And even though my kids are crying over their pet, and I got to hire a lawyer and all the things, I still had to show up and look the part. And like I said, I had to fake it till I made it. And that was kind of difficult. It was like, gosh, nobody even knows what's really going on. And I really didn't want to, of course, you want to be private about, especially when you're in a certain position, especially in the community, you want to be private. You want to go through things privately. But when you're even going through things privately, I suggest that you have somebody or somebody's that you can call and depend on, and confide in about what you're feeling and what you're going through, especially when you are suffering a loss, whether it's a pet or a family member, or like a divorce. That was a loss. And as much as people say, oh, I don't need this and I don't need, I'm fine. No, I experienced a loss, um and I'm still experiencing things to this day that um came from that loss, especially my divorce. Sometimes you don't think about the little things, you know what I'm saying? Like that you okay. Hey Angel, thank you so much. Yes, I try my best. So yeah, remind me to look up there. But yeah, so I it's the little things that you don't think about when you're going through divorce and separation, that you just didn't think about. You think, okay, it's over, and now starting over, and next chapter and all the things. But sometimes you have to go back to the last chapter and review it, like, okay, hold on. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of little things that I didn't think about or consider, deciding to have a divorce, get a divorce, and all the things. Number one was a lawyer. And so that was happening. And all while that was happening to me, um, golly, all that while that was happening to me, I experienced like cyberbullying, and from grown folks. Okay. And it was like, what? So, going through a divorce, and then all of a sudden you're getting cyber bullied on the internet by grown women. And I didn't see that one coming. It hit me left field. Like, and to be honest, it hit me almost worse. Like I prepared myself for a loss. I prepared myself to move on and next chapter, and I'm about to be single and all the things, but I did not expect to get cyber bullied. So I had to process that. I don't like close up. I don't like that close up. Mm-mm. I had to process that on my own because I didn't understand what was going on. And at the same time, I couldn't understand the way people who I'd never met or never, knew before were perceiving me to be. And so that was definitely a learning process, a learning situation. And that too, I had to kind of still come out into the community and act like that wasn't even going on. And, people would come up to me and, oh, Karen, we saw what was going on. And I'd be like, yeah, girl, But at the same time, I was like, this is really, it was like, it affected me mentally and physically. So that was a lot to process, and I had to process that on my own. Had to get another lawyer for that. So here we go, 2 lawyers at the same damn time. So that was a lot, and I wasn't used to dealing with something like that. So once I got through that, all the little things that happened after that, as far as like Facebook and people I don't know who talk about you and they post about you and stuff like that. All those little things would always happen, but I was able to deal with those a lot easier. Seeing that I dealt with this big situation, and that was a lot. I mean, they were sharing my address online, talking about the cars that they see in my driveway, just trying to dig up all these false narratives about me and drag me down. So I had to keep on moving, and it was to a point where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, And I had to come to the realization that sometimes, when God has called you to do something that's for you to do it. And some people may see it and be like, I want to do that too. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna take her name, and I'm gonna take her logo, and I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna dog her out. Sometimes you have to look at the big picture. And one thing I tell people all the time, you see people doing something and you want to do something similar, go ahead and do it, but make it your own. You know what I mean? Do it the way you want to do it. Do it the way that God has called you to do it. You can't do it like me. You just can't. There's a place for everybody to do the things that they want to do. Right now, a lot of the time it was just Women of Douglasville, and now there's a lot of other community groups, and they have their own narrative and they have their own thing going on, and I support them 100%. And so I just say that to say, sometimes you have to really look at the big picture and chime in on what's really going on, and realize the fact that when you are doing something on a level that doesn't even make sense sometimes. Sometimes I'll be like, wow, God, you did this with this one, Women of Douglasville. Sometimes when you get to a certain number and you get to a certain level of audience, you almost have to expect the enemy to come in and try to tear down what you have going on. You have to expect people to hate on you just a little bit. And I was somebody who wasn't used to that kind of stuff. I wasn't used to people talking about me. I'm Karen, like I didn't do anything to nobody, So seeing people talk about you publicly, and especially people who don't know you or haven't interacted with you or anything like that, and to see that and feel that and hear that was very, very, very difficult, like very difficult. So I had to get over that. And so I would say my life after that it made me much stronger. It made me stronger as a person. It makes me look past people who are hating on me. That's something I never thought I would have to do. Or, I never consider myself, I don't got no haters. Nobody hates me. Like, no, they do. For no reason at all. You could be doing all the things, all the best things. And people will find a way to find something negative to say about you. They'll find something negative just to think about you. People perceive, like, people's perception of me, when you don't know somebody and you just see them online and you see they're doing these events and you see they're just out in the public, and you see me now talking on hits. I'm live on my Facebook page, I'm live on YouTube, all things. All you can see is what you see. And a lot of people, I just tell people, get to know me. If you really knew me, you wouldn't think that. And I even, yeah. So a lot of even little things happen after that. People, you like literally, this girl went on TikTok and went in on me for just not speaking to her. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I don't even know you. And that's another thing, when you have a big group like that, some people feel like they interact enough on the platform or they post enough to where I should know who you are, but I don't. I don't. And so when I'm out in public and I see people, I just listen, I just treat everybody the same. Hey girl, how you doing? Do a little small talk because I appreciate all the members. I appreciate the interaction and all the contribution that people give to the platform that I manage. And so I like to show that appreciation, whether I remember you or not. So that's that. So my life after that is just that. After those things, it just made me stronger um, as a public figure. Hello. It made me stronger and more confident. You know what I'm saying? Like I got through that was a big deal for me. And for me to get through that, and I even said when I was praying and crying and all the things, I was like, Lord, if I can get over this, oh, it's up after that. And of course I got over it and I got through it. And then boom, something else happens. Um, yeah, so the next bullet point is a society they expect people to bounce back quickly. Okay, it happened, get over it. You know what I mean? But there's a process to everything. Like, and I'm still going through things. Like I'm still in the processes of all of these things. So, when you see people going through stuff and it's like life changing, please don't expect them to get over it quickly. Please don't tell them to get over it. You know what I mean? Girl, what did you worry about that for? You this and you that. No. I know who I am, but I gotta get through this thing and I gotta work it out the way I need to work it out. And no, I can't get back on the radio right now. I can't even talk right now. I'm so sick. I can't even talk. And if I get on that microphone, I don't know what I'm gonna say. So, sometimes you have to give people time to get over and get through things the best way they can. So shout out to Sunshine and Kels for encouraging me to come on, Karen, are you ready? Now let's get you back. And at first I was like, I'm not ready yet. But you know what? I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I think like it was right after the new year. And the one thing that I expect to happen, I said, when that ball dropped, I just felt like I would be like, la, and just like, okay, new year, new me, I'm ready. And it took a couple days. And like I literally felt like as soon as the clock struck 12 from 2025, I would be like automatically this new woman and I would be all free and refreshed. And it didn't happen. I was just like the ball dropped. I was sitting on the couch there with my kids and I just was like, okay, I feel the same. So it took a couple days. It took a couple days to get refocused and just, connect with the vision that I've always had. So it took a couple days into the new year. And then I called Sunshine. I said, I'm ready, girl. Let's do it. And I'm just glad to be back here, here at Hits and back online and talking about all the things with you all. So so the next one is life after doesn't mean life is over. And that's kind of sometimes I felt like it was. And that's, I guess, part of the process. Sometimes you feel like this is so bad. Like this is so bad that life will never be the same or life will never be good again. And and you have to just believe like that's part of having faith in God and trying to stay focused when you're going through these things because something major will throw you off and make you feel like, you know what? I give up. I'm just gonna go get a regular job and I'm just gonna not saying there's nothing wrong with a regular job, but being an entrepreneur for so long, sometimes you feel like you just gotta go back or revert or just stop doing the things that you were called to do because you're going through these things. And no, just because these things happen, life isn't over. You know what I mean? You still on the trail to get to where God has called you to be. So I had to accept that. I had to realize that, life is not over. Yeah, you're going through these things, but life is not over. And like I said, it was one thing after another. Then one of my very best friends, two of my very best friends, on the same day, in the same hour, lost their children tragically. And when I say that was one of the things that I internalized. You know what I mean? I was crying on the floor right with my friend. One friend was here in Atlanta and one friend was back in Buffalo. And so I'm trying to figure out and trying to be the supportive friend to both. I couldn't physically be in Buffalo, but I was here with my friend and she had lost her son tragically. And it was so bad. It was so bad. And sometimes, sometimes being there for other people, it's great. You have to, you really need to be there for the people that you love, take a pause on, some things. But I feel like I kind of internalized it completely for weeks on end and put a pause on a lot of the things that I had going on. I remember people calling me like, aren't you supposed to be here? And I'd be like, listen, my friends, their kids just died. And I stayed in the house for like 4 days, didn't go nowhere at all. And just because it just shocked me. It was like it just shocked me. It stopped me right in my tracks. The fact that, two of my friends were suffering such a great loss at the same time and trying to get to Buffalo and all the things. And it was a lot, y'all. But listen, I'm going to take a break, but I want y'all to come in and call in and chime in on these subjects of life after, and going through things and processing loss and processing divorce and processing anything. 404-254-4347, 404-254-4347. Call in, and let's chop it up. Let's talk about it. I would love to hear your comments. I would love to hear your story. We got time today, and I'm back. So 404-254-4347. Call in, be a part of the show here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio.
Every day is a new choice. We make our beds and we lie in them. Who do you want to lay down with? Choose wisely. Met you on Friday, picked you up on Saturday. Sunday night you calling me over and over and over again, telling me that you're ready to rock me steady, rock steady. I got you so addicted, I should've never let you taste my love, my love. Damn right I wanna see you again, but I'm not ready for no love affair. Still you ask me why this happening, when I told you that my heart wasn't there. I handle business on the weekday, but you can have me on the weekend. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you wanna be my weekend lover, it's gonna be hard to leave. Take it from me, from me, from me. Take it from me, from me, from me. If you wanna be my weekend lover, it's gonna be hard to leave. Take it from me, from me, from me. Gonna be hard. Take it from me, from me, from me. Damn right I wanna see you again, but I'm not ready for no love affair. And still you ask me what is happening, when I told you that my heart
Back here live at Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. This is Karen the Connector, and I'm here every Thursday from 2 to 4 talking about what you've been looking for. So we have a caller that just called in. She's going to chime in on today's subject. We're talking about life after, and who's calling in today?
Yeah, Karen, this is Shavonda.
Shavonda?
Yeah.
Shavonda. Now, I know Shavonda. Girl, where you been?
Oh, Shavonda.
Smith.
Oh, my God. Smith now.
Yes. And I know she has a life after story. I don't know where Shavonda's been, but it's so good to hear your voice, Shavonda. And I know the last time I talked to you and interacted with you, you were experiencing life after. And talk about your experience and share what you want to share.
Yeah, I want to share what I want to share. Thank you so much for, oh my God, I was just so happy. I said, man, should I call in? Should I do it? Should I? I've been praying about it because I'm very private. Mm-hmm. And I only talk to a few people.
Right.
My mother, my family has been very supportive, ending a 25-year marriage. Mm-hmm. Very dear for me. I mean, I stayed in Douglasville for 25 years. I moved there when I was young with Reginald, with my husband. And, we kind of had the kids, the house of the picket fences and stuff like that. Yeah. And we built a business. And then mine ended in 2023. Mm-hmm. I shut down the business. Mm-hmm. I moved to Florida. Kind of my sister was like, hey, you probably just need to change your atmosphere because you've been in Atlanta for so long.
Right.
So I went down there thinking I can start over. And, of course, just leaving the Atlanta life and everything that you knew and that you grew up around and to go somewhere to move somewhere completely different. Mm-hmm. I felt like I was a burden on my family, even though it was my first time having to move in with them.
Yeah.
With my sisters. My sister and her husband, they don't have children. So it's been extremely difficult. Extremely. Went through depression. To the fat point, where I had to check myself in. Mm-hmm. I had great insurance. It's one thing about me, even doing our marriage, I've always kept really good insurance, outside job in as an entrepreneur, and also insurance, like if anything happened to me or anything like that.
Yeah.
So that was my first time utilizing. I had been paying on them policies since I was 23 years old.
Wow.
And I had to go into a women's shelter.
Mm-hmm. Like a facility?
A facility over in so I told my sister, I went home to Florida and I just couldn't get myself right down there, went to a job fair and I did get a job at Global Generali as well. I worked in remote call center. But I hadn't clocked in years.
Right.
It feels so weird because now my sister was like, maybe you need to be around people and need to go clock in and, just start over. And so I had a great company down there that I worked for. And it taught me a lot about the travel industry. So that's Florida. But still, I was working remote. And one day, I wasn't doing the right thing. I was working remote, but then I was also drinking. I couldn't stop drinking, Stop drinking.
It kind of probably numbed you. It probably helped you cope. It was a coping mechanism.
It was a coping mechanism. Right.
And I went through that as well. I can relate heavily.
You can relate heavily, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I told my sister, even though her and her husband had treated me like royalty, like I didn't have to pay anything, I didn't have to do anything. They just wanted me to get my life back.
Right.
Okay. I have great family, great support.
And you have a beautiful daughter.
Beautiful daughter. She's still, yeah. So I ended up, going to a facility. They ended up, that went to Texas. They flew me out to Texas. I made a call. They flew me to Texas. I stayed at one of the most you know, a spa place. It was one of Oprah's spas that she used to go to, Spa Sedale.
Mm-hmm.
I went there for, you know, to detox.
Mm-hmm.
I've never done drugs before in my life, but I just did the wine thing. And then went there, and then I came back. I told them, they was like, where you want to go? I said, I want to go back to Georgia. So I stayed in Dunwoody. And they put me up in an apartment.
Wow.
And that was my insurance did. And people need to know and see about me planning, because I always knew, because I heard the stories before, you know, people going through divorce, or if your business collapse, like what you're going to do, what are you going to do? So thank God I had enough sense when I was in my 20s to kind of invest into those things.
Mm-hmm.
But when I could not support myself, the insurance will kick in.
Yeah.
So I was able to get myself back on track, and so I don't drink anymore.
That's a good thing. Congratulations.
Good thing,
I know that was difficult.
Yeah, I'm definitely sober free. I don't drink. I haven't drunk in almost about a year and a half.
That's good.
So I have a sober community that I connect with. We all be on Zoom calls. We hold each other accountable.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, and then, but financially, because we had built so much together for so long, and I didn't separate the things, because it was like his money, my money, my money, his money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because we old school, you know, we kind of we
that's
started
what you did.
when I was 20.
Yeah,
and that's what we did. But man, you know, just think I always had good credit. Always, my kids always had good credit. I had built it, you know, years ago.
Yeah.
But all that stuff crumbled. And, you know, we're in a day and age where those things matter.
Heavily.
So I'm like rebuilding.
So you're in the big rebuilding phase right now.
I'm in the rebuilding stage right now. And I keep, like, even when I wanted to go back into Texas, I just wasn't there mentally. I knew, because I originally started in Texas when I was younger. And I just knew you have to be right when you're doing taxes, because it will send me back down that black hole, you know, or business, because it comes with pressure, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want my sobriety comes first. God, sobriety, I want to live my sober life.
Right.
I don't want to drink. And because I think right before I had, you know, left out of Georgia, you know, I had wrecked my husband's truck. So I don't want to, it was all kind of things happening. You know what I'm saying?
I can only imagine.
One thing after another. One thing, I was a brand new truck. I wrecked it, you know, because just going through, I was doing, and I had a lot of things that was going on that was triggering and causing those things. The point of, I knew I was going through a divorce. I knew everything was ending. Everything, my little fairy tale life that I had built, I knew things was about to be over. I mean, so that did send me down a dark path. So I'm in the process of rebuilding.
And that's so wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. I mean, especially, you know, I have a personal relationship with Shavonda, so I kind of know the life that she built and the beautiful house and all the things that she's referring to. I seen it with my own eyes, so I can only imagine feeling like all that is being taken away from you and crumbling, and like you said, your credit score, and you know what I mean, dealing with alcohol, and that's one thing that that almost got me too, alcohol, because alcohol is easy to get. It's easy to get to now. You could get it even easier. You can order it and come right to the door, and so it's easy to access and it's easy to hide. And it's almost big time. And it's almost like a coping mechanism to where you're going through all these things, you're experiencing all these things, and once you take a couple drinks, it's like almost like you don't feel it. So that's one thing that, you know, we all as a whole, women and men, we need to find another way to deal with things outside of alcohol or controlled substances, and you know what I mean. Sometimes you use those things just to numb yourself from what's really going on, and just dealing with the reality is so hard sometimes. Dealing
It's
with the
so
reality
hard.
of a loss of a marriage. She was married when she was 20 years old, and so and building a life with somebody and
And that was
knowing
a
that
life
that is all,
partner.
yeah, a life
Yeah,
partner.
a life partner.
Hmm.
You know,
And there's
only
so much that
person I
goes
did
on.
business with.
You
Yeah.
right. There's so much that goes into, you know, separating from somebody. I was married for 16 years, so
Mm.
there's so much that goes on. Those little things that I know you talked about, like those things that kept happening within the separation and divorce that you didn't expect to happen, and it's happening.
Right.
And
Right.
you know, you're dealing with these things, and you're trying to be strong, and you want to be strong for your children, and you want to be
Children.
strong in
Yep.
your faith. But boy, when that kind of stuff just like knocks you down, and
It does.
sometimes we use stuff like alcohol and weed or whatever just to kind of numb yourself from reality, so it makes you feel like this is the way
Mhm.
I'm dealing with it, and you know, this is
Right.
how it is, and it's your big excuse. You know, you make up all these excuses for doing these things and turning to those things, but in reality, you know, you gotta face reality. You gotta deal
You
with
gotta face
what's going on
reality.
head on, and it might be tough. And that's why I say sometimes I feel like I really wish I would have used my faith a little bit more. I would have been stronger in my faith while I was going
Yeah.
through, because I wasn't. I felt like I was totally like alone in the situation,
Mhm.
and I'm just going through it, and like nobody can help me. There's nothing anybody can do, and
You could have reached out to me, Karen.
right, I know,
You
but you know, like I said in the beginning, I was very, you know, you kind of when
Yeah,
you're
you
in a
don't.
certain position, you want to be like private. So
Yeah, you want to be private.
right,
Yeah, that's how I was.
right,
Real
yeah,
private about
and
it. Yeah.
sometimes like even now, like some people didn't even know I was married in the first place. So here I am talking about
Oh.
life after divorce and all the things and everything, and some people didn't even know I was married in the first place, and I was married for 16 years. So that's just
Wow.
that alone says a lot about one of the reasons why I'm not married right now. But you know, and then there were people who knew. They knew
I
when I
knew.
had young kids, and you know what I mean. They
I
knew when I
met
had
him.
toddlers, and
Mhm.
you know, going back and forth to elementary school, and you know, having, you know, supporting, you know, my ex-husband with his business and all the things, and I still
Yep.
support him 100%.
And I remember that. I
Yeah,
remembered all of that.
yes.
Yeah.
He even worked with Shavonda, and
Vonda.
so
Yep.
yeah, so I still to
And
this
they
day,
met before, both of them.
right? They sure
Mhm.
did. Both her
Mhm. They
ex
met.
and my ex.
One of our projects.
Yup,
Yep.
they sure did. So, but yeah, and
Oh
side note, I
man, I'm
still
so sorry to hear
support
that. Oh my God.
my ex to this day. Like I still share his stuff, and you know, when he does a great job, you know, and he posted and all the things. So on that part, I'm always gonna be supportive of that. But yeah, those
Yeah,
little things
we're
happen.
supporting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I'm not.
we're supporting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm not that person that's gonna be like, no, you know. And I know it's kind of tough. Still, it's a tough subject, and sometimes it's even tough to support. But that's just who I am. And
Mhm.
you know, so that's that. But yeah, Shavonda, thank you so much for calling in and
Absolutely.
telling your story.
Absolutely.
You know, like I didn't, just like you didn't know what I was going through. I had
I didn't
no
know.
clue.
Mhm.
I knew you moved, but I just
And
didn't
you
know.
lost your dog. I lost my dog too. Yeah.
Girl,
15 years. My family dog.
listen, and I know that was tough.
Mhm. That was tough.
That was a rough
had,
one.
I had 3 hits in 1 year. That was the roughest year I ever been through.
Hmm.
2023. Mhm. So I'm glad you know, like I said, I wish I would have, you know, put my faith. My mom, she sent me text, you know,
Mhm.
family members.
Mhm.
They was like, reach out to her. So people was reaching out, I guess, afterwards. But yeah, but just knowing that your faith, activating your faith,
Mhm.
using your voice, you know, I wish I would have done that more instead of
Yeah.
picking up a bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that makes it worse. But I am so glad to say that I am sober free.
You feel free now.
I'm sober free, but it's one day at a time. So I can't really say I
Mhm.
would never drink again.
Right.
But it's one day
It's
at
a
a time.
process.
I
You got to
don't
take it
have
one
the
day at a
urge
time.
like I used to. I
Mhm.
don't have that urge where I
Mhm.
have to go, oh, let me go get me something to drink.
Mhm.
Because a lot of times, you know, like we would get contracts and stuff, and let me tell you, I will go and I will go to a bar or I'll go, you know, hang out in Douglasville, you know, I'll have a drink. But
Mhm.
now I don't have that urgency. you know what I'm saying, to drink. So I feel great about that. That's one thing for 2026. So,
that's wonderful.
and I feel like
That's
I
a
can move
wonderful thing.
forward.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you. Are you in Douglasville now?
I'm over here in Marietta. I did move back. The girl's still over there in Douglasville. I come over there. I go over to my daughter's house. You know, they have their own apartment.
Yeah.
So when we move.
So
yeah, they're over there in Lithia Springs.
In Lithia Springs. Okay, well, you know I'm right near Lithia Springs. So next time you come to Douglasville, it's me and you for lunch. We can go to April's place and talk about all of this.
Okay, all right.
Yes,
sure
I'm looking
will.
forward to seeing you. And thank you so much.
I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yes, most definitely. You know I love you, girl.
I'm so proud of you. You look beautiful, and I love you too, Kiana.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll talk soon.
Let me know if I can build support.
Definitely.
Okay.
Thank you, Shavonda.
All right, bye-bye.
Yes, wow. So that was Shavonda's life after story. And like I said, everything is a process. Like, wow. And her calling in was very eye-opening because like I said, when she was in Douglasville, she was one of those people who I had lunch with every other week, and I would run into her and let's do this. She supported all the things that I was doing with the women of Douglasville, the events, and her daughter is an entrepreneur in the area. And so hearing that she went through all of that is eye-opening. I saw her and her husband have a major cleaning company, and they did industrial cleaning. And just to know that, you know, all of that, you know, is no more. And she went through all the things, especially with the alcohol, which is something that, you know, I can resonate with. Sometimes you, like you said, when you're lonely and trying to process things and go through things, you use certain things, even certain people, to kind of numb yourself through the process. So that's one thing that she said. I said it. So I'm saying this to you all that are watching. Whatever you're going through, and if you whoever you have faith in that's above you, whatever you believe in, put your faith in action. Like immediately. Like, okay, God. Like as soon as something happened, now when something happens now, I'm like, okay, God, what is this? I'm gonna let you figure this one out because I don't understand it. So I'm gonna let you figure this one out, and I'm gonna give it to you, and then I'll do what you tell me to do. So shout out to Shavonda for calling in and sharing her story. Like sometimes, like she said, she's very private. And sometimes just getting your story out and talking about things, even if it's just you and your friends, and just letting it out, everything, will help you cope through what you're going through. So like I said, if you want to call in, we got a couple more minutes. 404-423, I'm sorry, 404-254-4347, 404-254-4347. If you want to call in and comment on, you know, what we're talking about today, I would love to hear from you. So next I want to talk about is the emotional reality of life after. Here we go. The healing part. And to be honest, y'all, I think I'm finally like at the cusp of my healing. You know what I mean? I think I'm here, you know, healing. Like I'm healing, you know. I feel like now that I have my faith in God on track, I feel like now that I have my confidence back, and those sort of things, like I feel like I am finally on my healing journey, and it's allowing me to see things for what they really are. And sometimes when you're going through things, it's almost like you could make up stuff in your head, like this is gonna happen, or just hopefully I understand what I mean. But when you're going through things that's this major and life changing, loss of a loved one, loss of a spouse, a divorce, a breakup. I mean, some people are just in long-term relationships and they break up, and it hits them hard. And then a pet, and then the internet stuff, and then you got all these, you know, then you're trying to manage life, and sometimes you want to put everything on autopilot and let it just work itself out, and you can't. You have to do the work on your own healing, and however that looks for you. You know, like she said, she had to go to therapy and check herself into a facility to get herself back to where she needed to be and get her life back. And sometimes you need to call the therapist. you need to get some help. See what your health insurance covers and doesn't cover. And, sometimes we pay into these insurance policies and all these, just different things. Sometimes there's resources for you to get yourself back to where you need to be. And however that looks like and whatever it takes, do it, because it will pay off in the long run. You don't want to let everything just take its own, way. Like one thing my cousin always says, Karen, get in the driver's seat. You need to drive this thing. You need to get in the driver's seat, and you need to control what's going on. And it took me a while to embrace that and get in the driver's seat, because I was in the back seat. I wasn't even in the passenger seat. I was just in the back seat, like, where are we going? Okay, that's where we going. That's what we doing. Okay, what happened? Okay, that's what happened. Guess I got to deal with it. You know what I mean? And once I got my strength back and my confidence back and my focus back, and got in the driver's seat, that's right now I feel like I'm finally on a positive, avenue of my healing journey. I feel like my business and all the things that I have on the plate, on the table that I was working on, finally seeing some stuff move. Start hosting events in the community again, connecting with people, taking calls and going to meetings, and even, exploring different other streams of income, which I was not doing. I wasn't doing any of that, while I was going through. So, yeah. So that's that. And some days, like she said, you got to take it one day at a time. She says she's no drinking no more, I'm sober, but you have to take everything one day at a time and deal with it head on. You're not going to be, on 10 every single day. And that's one thing that I'm willing to accept too. Like, okay, every day is not going to be laughs and jokes and positivity. There's going to be some days where I have to sit down and kind of, kind of reflect on, what I'm going through and where I am going. So that's one thing that you just have to do. I'll tell everybody, just take it one day at a time. You know what I mean? Don't try to jump into this, jump into that. Of course, we do have to plan when it comes to our money and businesses, and plan ahead for this and, schedule that. But as far as your feelings are concerned and how you feeling inside, just take that one day at a time and just, pray about it. And you know what I mean? And do some self-care things. One thing that I plan on doing is, traveling a little bit more, even if it's just for a weekend, and breaking free and just focusing on myself. Because when you are a mother and have children, like I have a soon to be 25-year-old, a soon to be 16-year-old, and my son just turned 14. So to me, I have to be like 3 different people to them. You can't be the same mother to a 25-year-old young adult than you are to a 14-year-old son who loves video games. And you know what I mean? Now he's like into fashion a little bit. And like, what are we talking about? Sometimes I'm like, what? Huh? Or even when my 25-year-old call me on the phone, I'm listening to her like, uh-huh. And then I have to snap into mother of a young adult mother. So sometimes that's hard to do when you're going through your own thing, you're going through your own stuff, and you have to show up for the people who depend on you they're depending on you to show up for them the way you've always shown up. So and that didn't happen all the time. There were times when I was up in that bed and I was like, y'all, there's some frozen pizza in the freezer and I'm in my room. You know what I mean? I'm here, but I'm not here. But I was there, but I'm back and I'm always there. So sometimes that's hard to do, but you just gotta get through it and work through it. Triggers, you gotta figure out your triggers, some things that do trigger you into feeling a certain type of way. And one thing that I do, and then we're gonna go to a commercial after this. One thing that I do now, I know what my triggers are sometimes. And I know, like, sometimes I get on a group chat or even with my family, and if certain topic is talked about, or even if it's loud, click. I want to know what happened after the fact. Like, I might call back later, what happened? You know what I'm saying? But at that point in time, like, if I'm feeling a certain type of way, certain things I can't hear or listen to. And then 2, I stopped internalizing other people's problems. Like, taking on people's problems. I was always a person. What happened? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me call or let me do. What do you need? What's your Zelle? La, 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 la. I mean, I go into let me fix this for you. You know what I'm saying? And then I start internalizing it, and then it becomes my thing. And I already got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Then I stopped working on what I was working on, trying to figure out what I had going on, and I'm figuring out what you got going on. So I stopped doing that. I definitely stopped doing that. Yeah. And then now I have boundaries. I have boundaries now. Now I know when to say, you know what I mean? I know what you got going on, but if I can help you this way, I can, but I can't do that, or I can't make it. Sometimes you want to show up for everybody and be there, be present. No, I can't. Actually, I'm staying home tonight. You know what I mean? I'm tired. So I just started to, say no a little bit more. And it's honestly more freeing now saying no, or just not saying nothing at all. How about that? Minding my own business. And so those are some of the things that I'm doing now that are helping me. Just kind of minding my own business, only minding the business that pays me and that is contributing to my life. And so those are some of the things that are helping me get through and helping me in my healing too. So maybe you might want to adopt some of those things. Maybe maybe not. Maybe your thing is helping everybody and keeping yourself busy from what you have going on and paying attention to what everybody else going on. But it did not help me. But that's that. And we're going to come back and close down the show. And you want to close it down now? Oh, well, we're going to close on down now. So listen, I'm here every Thursday. I thank you all for tuning in today. It's my first show back for the year. And I'll here every Thursday from 2 to 4 here on Hits 92.3. You can contact me and you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Karen the Connector GA. On Facebook, Karen Campbell. I also have the Women of Douglasville Instagram. That's Women of Douglasville. And then I have the Women of Douglasville group. If you're a woman in West Georgia, I highly suggest that you come join us. Come join in on the dialogue. We're talking about the weather now. We got some increment weather coming in into the Atlanta area, and that is the talk of the town, okay? So we're talking about that. I even got a chat. I don't know if a lot of y'all don't know it. I created a bad weather chat, and I got almost 2,500 people talking about what's going to happen this weekend and where the food is and where the wood is and all the things. And so if you want to join that chat, just inbox me and I'll send you the link. And yeah, follow me, connect with me, and I will love to connect with you. And you can find me here every Thursday from 2 to 4 talking about what you've been looking for here on Hits 92.3, the real definition of internet radio. Bye.
J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Come on and sing it louder. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. Now everybody say I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Say I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Say I'm blessed. Someone who makes me smile for no apparent reason when I'm feeling down. I call on you to be my comforter. I'm your child. You dry my eyes from tears I cry. Never leave my side. Your love ain't like a season or people. It never changed regardless of what we do. You treat us equal. Even though I don't see your way out of my situation, prepare me on a daily, keep me strong, correct me when I'm wrong. I could've lost my mind, suicide, lost my life, but you gave me more reasons to continue this fight. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. J-E-S-U-S, no other name is better. G-O-D, I am blessed. I wanna thank you for loving me. Roof over my head may not have much and it humbles me. All it takes is one call of your name, you come running. Even when I'm undeserving, you give it all to me. Struggles I endure, take them away with every little bit of piece of sunshine. Always come through when you're on time. Brighten my day with the best glow. Remind me